everybody, welcome to Kindest Regards ZA. Yes, it's another episode. Thank you so much for watching. Today we're talking about the dirty 30s. Some people get excited about turning 30 and most people like me fear it. And I think that fear comes from the pressure of having to have your ish together. And like we know, life does not always work out the way we want it to work out. So I decided to help me talk up more about this topic to invite my very close friend Nthabi. We've watched each other grow through new love, heartbreaks, and even death. So we often reflect over our 20s and where we currently are. 3, 2, 1. When you were 22, what did being 30 look like?
For me, looked like success. Having it all figured out. It looked like well traveled. It looked like children. It looked like money. It looked like world's change. It looked like a lot of things that were perfect and success.
Yes, success. Yeah. Like we've made it.
Yeah, like basically, yeah. I would have made it now.
Like, look,
I would have been referred to as
CEO. I think that's exactly where I was at. I had it all planned out, had it all figured out. You know, driving the EMG. I'd be, guys, we're taking key aesthetic. So we're gonna continue because
I feel like.
Nthabi, what is the reality of being in your 30s?
The reality of being in my 30s is that I will not have the solutions to everything. I'm not trying to solution for anyone. I don't have the answers. And so, because the reality is I'm also still experiencing life, and that's what the 30s look like. Success also looks very different in your, the way that you view success, right, is very different, right? So for me right now, the most successful part of my life is me being able to take care of my mental health. And because if that is intact and that is working, everything else I'm able to attend to. The family element of it is there. The kids are there, but they're not there in the sense that I expected it in this manner, right? But I'm also very grateful that it happened in this way, because it then forced me to work harder than I'd ever worked before, to be much bolder, much braver in my decision making, be accountable to something and someone.
What do you mean, the kids part? Your kids or somebody else's kids? What's happening?
So 5 years ago, I lost my brother, and he had a 5-year-old. And so I immediately had to step in. And so I've been co-parenting. I was co-parenting a 5-year-old who's now 10. So I've been a co-parent for 5 years, which wasn't necessarily like, it's not like I wasn't part of his life. I've always been part of his life, like a big part of his life.
Now,
I was fully on. I had to step up my game. I had to, because it kind of forced me also to like step back and reevaluate how I wanted my life to work out.
It goes back to that point I was saying that you think you have it all figured out, but then it doesn't go like that. And yes, we saw the kids, but look, then God blessed you with a child, but not the way of carrying one by adopting your brother's child, which is a blessing.
It is,
and it was part of your plan. It just, you didn't plan how it was gonna happen. You touched on mental health. I want to know, what are your daily mantras? I don't know, daily mantra, especially now that you're in your 30s as compared to when you were in your 20s. What are your coping mechanisms?
Yeah. So in my 20s, it came by shame. So for me, my 20s strength looked different, right? For me, strength looked like not dealing with your emotions, not dealing with your heartbreak, not feeling, and this was me, like a strong person looks like this, right? And this is the only view I have of a strong person, and this is how you you show up in the world as a strong person. But now I show up in the world differently, and my mantra for me, my mantra is feel what you have to feel.
Yes.
Feel what you have to feel.
Because when you feel it, you're able to heal it, whatever it is.
True. Also, like, nobody walks in my shoes, right? Nobody walks in my shoes. Nobody walks in your shoes. So feel the way that you want to feel, right? Because we also want to dictate to people how they process things because we've processed them in a certain way, and it's not necessarily the case. So feel what you want to feel because it's valid.
Yeah.
But the thing that I practice more than anything is also like being kind to myself, right? I show up for myself now better than ever. So for the longest time, I would give to people in the sense that like my love language is acts of service. That's my love language. Acts of service and gifting. Those are my love languages, and I could like show up for you in my sleep because that's just how I like doing. But also in that the love language that for me, I believe that the love language that I like to give is the one that I want to receive.
Yeah.
So acts of service.
Is it always the one you're gonna receive?
Not necessarily. So acts of service is my love language. So I'm doing it for myself. I'm giving myself the same kind of like love that I give to others, and the love language that I give to other people is the one that I give to myself now. So when I started my process of therapy, which is for me, therapy is an act of love for myself, and so
self-care.
Yes, and so that's part of my processing. That's part of my journey. That's part of how I give acts of service to myself. So right, because also we have to acknowledge that not everybody's privileged to have a therapist on standby.
Kind of similar to where I'm also at is that the self and the inner self has become so much more important than the outer self. Outer self being how people perceive me, because I learned and only in the past 3 years, 31, 32, Giboni flames, I had to I had to because I was so always concerned about what other people think. I was always so concerned about the things that I have or had defined me, and that's why now the inner self is just like, are you okay inside?
Yeah.
Then we're able to fill up other people's cups. We're able to be complete without the things of the world.
Because you have to convince the world about who you are.
Exactly.
It's hard. You have to convince yourself.
Yes.
That's the way.
But I don't think in our 20s we thought like that. Even before, it didn't look like that. The goal was I want to be like this, so that people see me like this. And in actual fact, there comes a moment where you just that doesn't look, it's not reality. Like and maybe it could happen early. Blessed are those that it happens earlier. You're blessed. You know, so it the self-work is very important to care about you, and
it also involves a lot of forgiveness on your part. Compassion for yourself, compassion for others, forgiveness for yourself. I think forgiving yourself is hard, because for me forgiving myself was always hard, because I always thought that like you have it all together. You're never wrong. You can't be wrong.
Can't be taught.
How can you be wrong? You can't be wrong. You're right.
Yeah.
And so forgiveness on my part looked really hard. It's still a virtue. I'm still learning, really.
It's a journey.
It's still I'm still learning. But I think I'm better at it because I want to do the work. That's the difference. Before I just didn't want to do the work because I felt like this is not what strength looks like. Strength looks like 1, 2, 3, and so you're not going to do the work. You have it together, and then life will show you that life is in charge.
Yeah.
You are just a strongest. you are just here.
Wait now.
A bright called life. So a bright called life. When you are just a strongest, you are just a bridesmaid, you are a groomsman, whatever. So
what do you think your turning 30 would look like? You know, there's this anxiety that people have when they turn 30, including me and you. Like, we all went through it. Now that we know what we know, and like we're 33 and we are in the space, do you think we would still have the same anxiety that we had when we were turning 30?
I don't think I would have the anxiety that I had, right? Because the 30 is actually really cool. For me, I'm not saying everybody's going to feel the same way, but for me, it meant letting go of a lot of things. But letting go in the sense that I was doing the work. I was intentionally doing the work to let go of certain things. Afraid of losing things. I was afraid of losing people. I was afraid of starting over. I was afraid of, right? I was afraid because we also know the narrative that says if you are not in a relationship at a certain age, if you are not with the same friends, if you're not with the same friends that you've had in your 20s and your 30s, like, you know, we are hoarders of human beings, you know, and for me, I was a hoarder of people. I wanted people that left, people that, and for me, losing people I loved that passed on taught me that sometimes people leave and sometimes people die, right? But people will leave. But even in them leaving will not completely like break me. Like, it will not be the end of me. So relationships will end, friendships will end, new ones will come, right? You obviously cannot replace somebody you've lost through death. You won't be able to replace that. You just won't. But friendships end, relationships end, and new ones come, right? But also, I think for women, we've also been brought up in the sense that we think that when you constantly are changing friends, there's something wrong with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you.
I felt that.
When you are changing friends, because we need to actually move away from the whole notion that, like, to have friends for so long, right, means that you are good and you are enough and you're all that, because then you become stagnant and you become stuck in toxic relationships, right? And so start afresh, make new friends. This whole no new friends, make new friends. Make new friends, because for me, making new friends has meant that I have a fresh view on life, right? But I experience people in a different way, right?
What I know now, when I was 30, I think definitely the letting go, that people leave, because I held on to a lot of friendships, just like Nthabi, relationships. I held on to the idea.
It's not like, and so when we're saying people leave, and it's not that we're saying that it won't hurt.
That's not
what we're saying, right? We're not saying that it will hurt.
It will hurt,
but
go through it. It doesn't mean you failed at something. It doesn't make you less. Doesn't make it valid that there's something wrong with you. I think that's what we're saying, and that's why for me, when I was 30, with what I know now, I would understand that it's okay to change jobs. I'd understand it's okay to have different friends. I'd understand it's okay to change careers. I'd understand that it's okay to be in a different relationship after 5 years of one relationship. I'd understand that the kids are not going to come at 30. I'd and there's something more that needs more of your attention, which is the self. In closing, Nthabi, what would you tell the ladies, the gents, fresh out of matric, those that have just completed their degrees or in varsity studying towards their dream job? What would you say to them and the goals that they have by the time they turn 30?
You know the saying, it will end in tears. Don't believe the hype. If it ends in tears, it does. If it doesn't, then it won't, right? And for me, I think the thing that I haven't stopped doing is dreaming. I haven't stopped dreaming. I'm not going to stop dreaming. I'll never stop dreaming. I will dream and do the work.
After I turned 31, I went it feels like I think about 2 years where I stopped dreaming. Literally, because I was like, I failed. I didn't achieve everything that I said I was going to achieve, I failed. What's the point of dreaming? What's the point of having these vision boards? What is the point? And a part of me died, and I woke up at some point because I was just like, because that means I had no hope. I was just a dead person walking, and luckily and thank God I was able to, through pain, trials and tribulations, I was forced to awaken and start dreaming again. And even if those dreams look like they looked when I was 22, I feel like it's okay. They're still attainable.
Also leaving space to experience new things.
Yes.
And that's why I say, like, never stop dreaming. Because you might be 30 and think that your dream looks different because you're 30, but you can still get to it. Like, you can still get to it. And never fear starting over. That for me has been the biggest, like, never fear starting over. Like, you wanna leave the job and start over, leave the job and start over if that makes you feel great, if that's what your dream looks like. Like, never stop dreaming, and don't be afraid to start over. Those are,
I would say to the younger Thandi at that age was be present. Be present, and
I like that.
Because I missed so much. You know, Nthabi, the other day, I forgot who I was telling that. There's a period of my 20s that I don't remember. Like, completely. I don't know what I was doing, what was happening.
You're telling me.
Okay. So I think it was because I was so focused on like the 30s, how the rest of my life is going to look like that. So I'd like to say thank you to my friend Chi. You know, I just want to tell you how much this means to me that you're here, because a lot of people just think you do things for fun, like, hey, wait, but then I have people like Nthabi saying who understand the process and the journey that I've been through, and understand my passions and the ideas and the goals and the dreams that I have, and who are supportive. Thank you so much for coming, Nthabi.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. What are your passion projects that you're busy with, that you can tell us about, and where can people follow and support you?
I'm on Instagram. That's the main platform. I enjoy Instagram. I'm on WhatsApp. Hey girl. I'm kidding, guys. But I'm currently busy with, so I have a page on Instagram called HER. It's an acronym for Heroes Empowered to Rise. It's a platform for women and girls. It's a platform that facilitates collaboration, support, maintaining relationships with other women. And for me, the reason why I started that was because I felt that as women, we are the ones that we're the ones that we've always been waiting for. We are the ones that are going to support each other. We are the ones that can grow each other. We are the ones that can hold space for each other.
Yes.
And so her was from that place. And I mean, how it came about was I sit on the transformation, diversity and inclusion forum at work, and so because of that platform, I actually realized that we need a platform for ourselves that is going to be by women, for women, that supports women. And for me, that's how I now navigate the businesses that I support. Is it black? Is it a woman? Is it... So society has told us that women don't support women. Women don't want to see other women flourish. I say hell to the no. We've always been there. And this platform is specifically for. I have a podcast in the pipeline, actually.
Okay. So the invite is kind of regards.
So I have a podcast on the pipeline, and I'm putting pressure on us because it's been a year in the making that we've, my friend and I are supposed to start a podcast, and so now I'm literally putting it out there in the universe because I want to be held accountable.
Yes. Thank you so much to Nthabi once again for joining me on Kindness Regards ZA. Yeah, guys. my last words are be present, live and laugh. And do follow Kindest Regards ZA on Facebook, Instagram, and like, subscribe on YouTube. Please, we had our first guest today, Jonga City, you know. Anyway, love and light. God bless. Take care.